Hello everybody, I welcome you to today's session of the Roznama. The first piece of news naturally which we will be covering today, and mostly everything today will be centered around the Republic Day yesterday. Alright, so before we get into the details, I'll just very briefly give you a snapshot as to what are the basic details that you have to keep in mind with respect to the Republic Day. Now, we celebrate the Republic Day on 26th of January every year. Alright, now flagging the term Republic, I think it was taken up yesterday also for you all by Aditya sir. So, republic simply implies a governmental structure in a country where the head of the state is always elected. Head of the state is elected. It is not a hereditary head. All right. Now, elected in the sense that they are chosen by the people through elections, like we do in India. Not hereditary, meaning that it is not a monarchy. All right. For example, Britain is a monarchy because the head of the state is a hereditary state, is a hereditary position. For example, right now we have King Charles III as the head of the country there, and he succeeded his mother. Now, when he is going to die, then his son is going to succeed him. So it is a hereditary position. Whereas in India, we have an elected head of the state who is the president. All right. Okay. So 26th of January, we celebrate Republic Day because on 26th of January 1950, our elected head of the state officially took up charge. Now, who was this elected head of the state in 1950? It was Dr. Rajendra Prasad. All right. Now, Dr. Rajendra Prasad was elected as the head of India, as the president of India, not on 26th of January, but on the 24th of January 1950, 2 days before we officially became a republic. And this election was not a popular election in the sense that not elected by the parliament, but was elected by the Constituent Assembly. Okay. Now, little brief information on the Constituent Assembly. It was formed under the provisions of the Cabinet Mission Plan of the government. The Constituent Assembly was established on 6th of December 1946, and the first session took place on 9th of December 1946, and then it was this Constituent Assembly which was responsible for framing and drafting the constitution under the aegis of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who is also known as the father of the Indian Constitution. The Constituent Assembly met for or worked for an entire span of 2 years, 11 months and 18 days, where the 7 members of the Constituent Assembly, they referred to the various constitutions of different countries and then incorporated the bits which they felt were more suited for the Indian country as a whole. All right. And then the constitution was adopted on 26th of November 1949, which we celebrate in India as the Constitution Day. Then it was decided by Jawaharlal Nehru, the then Prime Minister of India, that we will not enforce the Constitution in its entirety till the 26th of January. Now, what significance does 26th of January actually hold? Our Prime Minister wanted to reiterate in 26th of January 1950 something that he for the first time celebrated on 26th of January 1930. All right. So on 26th of January 1930, the Indian National Congress celebrated complete Independence Day. Okay. Now, what was this complete Independence Day? Just a few days back, on 29th of December 1929, the Indian National Congress under the presidentship of Jawaharlal Nehru adopted Purna Swaraj or complete independence as the goal of the Indian National Congress as well as the Indian national movement. and it was on 29th of December that Jawaharlal Nehru said that on 26th of January 1950, India is going to celebrate its complete Independence Day. Complete independence, just to reiterate that the goal set for the national movement now is complete independence and not that we had become an independent country. All right. So just to keep this particular date in mind, Dr. Jawaharlal Nehru suggested that we will celebrate or get the entire constitution enforced on 26th of January 1950. And hence, on 26th of January, every year we celebrate the Republic Day. Because this year we celebrated the 77th Republic Day in India. All right. Now, these are certain glimpses from the Republic Day celebrations. You have the Prime Minister here, and also we have the President here, the Prime Minister, and also we have the European Council President Antonio da Costa and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen at the Republic Day parade. So these two people, da Costa and Leyen, they were the chief guests for our 77th Republic Day celebrations, and also they were here to strike the mother of all trade deals, that is a free trade agreement between India and the European Union. All right. Okay, just taking certain snippets. Mostly the entire article, or the entire newspaper focused along the EU FTA with India. Also, little information which has already been provided to you, but just keep in mind that the entire process and the procedure of celebrations on the Republic Day begins with the Prime Minister laying a wreath at Amar Jawan Jyoti at the National War Memorial. Then the parade commander this year was Lieutenant General Bhavnish Kumar. Also, the significant things about this every year's Republic Day is the announcement of the Padma Awards. Now, Padma Awards and Bharat Ratna together, they were instituted or established in 1954. Bharat Ratna is the highest civilian honor of the country, last awarded in 2024. Then followed by the Padma Vibhushan, the second highest, Padma Bhushan, the third highest, and Padma Shri, the fourth highest civilian honor in the country. All right. So the Padma Awards were announced yesterday, and a total of 131 Padma Awards, out of which 5 were Padma Vibhushan, 13 Padma Bhushan, and 113 Padma Shri Awards. So you don't need to get into the details to remember the names of the other awards, but the 5 awardees of Padma Vibhushan is a must. Okay. And the static information instituted in 1954, mostly given to mostly given every year. It is an annual event, but they have been suspended twice previously. Once from 1978 to 1979, and the other 1977 mostly, and the second time it was suspended from 1993 to 97. Okay, so this is one thing that you must keep in mind. And as in how we cover the articles, I'll keep on discussing. All right. Now coming to the FTA between India and European Union. Now this FTA culminated in the backdrop of straining of relations between United States of America and the European Union, mostly over the US claims on Greenland. I've taken it up multiple times in the previous session, so you can go back and revise. All right, in this particular agreement, they did talk about security, defense partnership, naturally, import, export, lowering of taxes on the same. And they did say that although they have negotiated it, but it will only come into its implementable structure after the European Parliament ratifies the FTA. All right, unless they ratify it, it will not come into existence. Also, the FTA will become operational this year only in 2026. As they have mentioned, they also said that they've also undertaken a pact for mobility of students, workers, unskilled, skilled, etc. from India to Europe and vice versa, just to facilitate better employment opportunities for the Indians. And also they are going to, work effectively together on the India, Middle East, Europe economic corridor, which is going to advance connectivity in terms of transport, digital and energy connection. Okay. Then other thing, a 5-year comprehensive strategic agenda mobility plan was undertaken, 5-year, that is for the year 2026 to 2030. All right. So please keep that in mind. All right. Now, another very small piece of news on the side was new draft rules that have come up in terms of basic dignity that a person has to maintain while generating digital content. Now, this entire new rules were brought in after a major controversy sparked off during some live show of Ranveer Alabadia. So naturally, he did make certain obscene comments. So to maintain the dignity of online content, these draft rules have been notified. So as of now, there are draft rules. You don't have to learn them, but just keep them in mind. Also, they have been notified by the Information Broadcasting Ministry under IT Digital Code Rules 2026. So please keep in mind, and the draft IT Digital Code Rules 2026 are these. So they've asked, offend against good taste or decency, deride any race, caste, color, creed, nationality, any attacks on religions, communities, anything that is obscene, defamatory, deliberate, false, half-truths, fake news, present violence, obscenity, criminality, denigrate children, contain bad language, all this are derogatory towards women. So all these things must be kept in mind when generating digital content, and in case you violate any of these, then naturally you will be pulled up by the police authorities. Okay. All right. Then coming to another piece of news with respect to the Republic Day as well. So the Republic Day had naturally the Indian Air Force and the other armed forces were also a part of it. The highlight of it, basically when you talk in terms of the themes, so the theme was 150 years of Vande Mataram as well as Operation Sindoor. So the Indian Air Force did make certain flying combats along the similar lines as they did in Operation Sindoor, and then this entire parade takes place on the Kartavya Path, which was previously known as Raj Path. So as we are de-anglicizing India, taking away all the remnants of the colonial period, so keeping that in line with that spirit, the Raj Path was renamed as Kartavya Path, and after the parade and everything, all the states in the country, they participate with their respective tableaus. So it says that 30 tableaus were showcased here, 17 of states and union territories and 13 of ministries and various departments. And Indian Air Force's fighter jets flew in Sindoor formation. The 7 aircraft formation comprised 2 Rafales, 2 Su-30s, 2 MiGs 29s and a Jaguar aircraft. All right, these are certain bits that you must keep in mind. Then again, just talks about everything that the DRDO also, unveiled here, like the BrahMos supersonic missiles were also showcased, Akash weapon system, Suryastra universal rocket launcher, main battle tank Arjun. All these artilleries of the Indian armed forces were also showcased here to the public, showing India's might. All right. Then a small piece of news on Israel in the newspaper, that naturally there are talks about India and Palestine settling the war, bringing about a peace agreement. So Israel has basically said that the remains of the last hostage from Gaza have been recovered. So as of now, Israel has gotten back all of their hostages that the Hamas had undertaken. All right. So please remember this, and also keep in mind the Board of Peace that US has instituted, where India has not given its decision whether it is a member of Board of Peace as of yet or not. All right. Then this particular article I took up only because I wanted to again flag the term de-dollarization for you all. Recently, because India has taken up the chairship of BRICS, the 18th BRICS summit, where our Reserve Bank of India had talked about pitching in that the BRICS nations at least must undertake trade amongst themselves in the central bank's digital currencies format. That is, for example, for India it is e-rupee. All right. So the same thing along same lines, they've also talked about that a lot of other countries in the multi-global order have talked about de-dollarization, and because of, and all this de-dollarization is being undertaken because of Trump's aggressive economic policies. So this article basically gives you an insight into this, that because of Trump's policies, trade sanctions, etc., multipolar world is pushing people away from the US dollar, because naturally too much of mistrust is being undertaken or is being inculcated amongst the global order. Okay, all right, now this was a particular piece of news and it was in the editorial which I put here. It gives you a detail into long range anti-ship hypersonic missile. All right, so the DRDO showcases long range anti-ship hypersonic missile for the first time. Just go through it. It is still in the testing stage, but it will get it will culminate into a solid structure and be a part of our defense system. Now, what is anti-ship and long range? Meaning that it can cover target enemy ships at a longer distance and can destroy them, these missiles. All right, so it says here that the long range anti-ship missile is capable of engaging static and moving targets and is designed to carry various payloads to a range of around 1500 kilometers. All right, and these hypersonic missiles are quasi-ballistic in nature, where they start flying ballistically, that is, they create a hyperbole and then they fly lower and they can even maneuver mid-flight, okay, to change their directions, etc. And then naturally, if we have any particular enemy weapon striking towards our missile system, we can dodge it effectively. So it is a good one. Then its significance is that its hypersonic speed, and because it is so fast in speed, it will become difficult for the enemy missiles to maybe intercept it, track it and destroy it. It covers its range of around 1500 kilometers in 15 minutes. Okay, and then there are certain versions which they are saying can run up to 3500 kilometers. Okay, so go through it. It's a good article. All right, this is just giving you a better picture of the Sindoor formation that was undertaken. This was the theme of the Republic Day this year, 150 years of Vande Mataram. I have given you these details previously, but I've just highlighted it in the article, that when you go through it, then you please keep these information in mind. And they're just showing you that the Ministry of Culture also had its tableau on 150 years of Vande Mataram, and so did West Bengal. West Bengal also paid tributes to 150 years of Vande Mataram and also to Bankim Chand Chatterjee, because Bankim Chand Chatterjee, naturally a Bengali, and is the person who wrote Vande Mataram. Okay, so this gives you information that Vande Mataram was for the first time written, published in 1875. So from 1875 to 2025, we are celebrating 150 years of its coming into existence, and also all 6 stanzas were sung and celebrated in the Republic Day. This year, it was written for the first time in the magazine Banga Darshan, and then it was incorporated in Bankim Chand's novel Anand Mat, which was published in 1882. Okay, sung for the first time in the Indian National Congress session of 1896 in Calcutta by Rabindranath Tagore. All right. Okay, then this not an important article, but I just wanted to flag this for you, that Madhya Pradesh is going to observe 2026 as the year of agriculture in the country. Also, we have 2 international UN years already declared as of now. So 2026 is going to be the UN International Year for Women Farmers, and also UN International Year for Pastoralists. Pastoralists are tribes who basically have their livelihood from cattle rearing. Okay. All right. Then again, this particular piece of article, I just took it up to flag census for you. So you all know that our 16th census is underway. All right. India is currently conducting its 16th census. Half of its information or data we receive in 2026, the other half in 2027. This data is basically for the 2021 census data, which we couldn't undertake because of COVID. Now we'll get this data in 2026, 2027. And Jairam Ramesh, he's a person from the opposition, from the Congress party, and he's just flagged flagged that whatever methodology that the central government has unveiled in terms of undertaking the caste census is not very clear, and he's asked for better clarity on undertaking socio-economic caste census. Now, socio-economic caste census plus digital census are two special features of the 16th census of India. Why is this census important? The census is important for undertaking delimitation as well as implementation of the 106th Constitution Amendment Act. So, you will tell me in the comment box what is delimitation, which articles provide for delimitation of constituencies for the Lok Sabha, delimitation of constituencies for the state legislative assemblies, and also what is the 106th Constitution Amendment Act. I have taken this for you a few days back. Now you are going to tell me what is it in the comments. Okay, then another piece of news, just very briefly to keep you on tabs with everything. The US President Donald Trump had threatened 100% tariff on Canada in case Canada signed any trade deal with China. So Mark Carney, he says that no free trade agreement has been undertaken with China. All right. Okay. Then coming to editorial pieces. This one particular piece just gives you a basic briefing as to what were the things that were mentioned by the president during the Republic Day celebrations. So she talked about political and cultural themes. She noted that national song Vande Mataram was a lyrical national prayer, 150 years of Vande Mataram. Also, they paid tribute to the 150th birth anniversary of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, hailed the success of Operation Sindoor, then laid emphasis on GST and the new labor codes that were in need this year. And also, she noticed the country's varied strides in agriculture, space, voting, democracy, etc. All right, it's just a general article. Go through it to get a basic insight. Then, all right, now this particular editorial, a wonderful piece, gives you a basic pros and cons of the new amendment to Manrega with VBG Ramji. All right, so this article says that whatever changes that they have made under VBG Ramji are more or less still the same as they were under Manrega. All right. So what is Manrega? Manrega stands for Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, which was brought in existence in 2005 under the Right to Work initiative. All right. Now this Manrega had certain provisions, like the central government had to pay all the expenses. All the expenses were borne by the central government, and there were 100 days of work. All right, guaranteed employment. Now, the new bill, which is VBG Ramji, 2 days back on Sunday, the editorial by P. Chidambaram called this very, very mouthful, which is absolutely true. So, VBG Ramji stands for Viksit Bharat Gramin Rozgar Ajivika Mission Guarantee Program. ठीक है, तो VBG Ramji was brought in, and VBG Ramji ने कुछ चीजें बोली, like 125 days of guaranteed labor. Then they said things like center and state together are going to undertake or bear expenses here. Then they also said that the state is going to notify things like agricultural pause. And they said that they want to rule out corruption under VBG Ramji, jiske through this, which they'll do through digitization or digital inclusion in terms of including transparency, etc. And also did they say that it will be a budget capped structure, not demand driven. ठीक है, not demand driven. अच्छा, अब इस पर arguments क्या है? आर्ग्यूमेंट्स इस पे ये आते हैं दैट दे सेड दैट पहली चीज जो इंक्रीज किया है 125 डेज, 100 डेज से 125 डेज, तो इट इज एक्चुअली it's a good step that has been undertaken, but then they've also drawn attention to the fact that wo 125 days were already undertaken other than 100 days in certain states. It was already in put that 125 days of employment and unemployment allowance they were already giving to undertaking these public works development. He also drew attention to the fact that a lot of states can't even fulfill a 100-day target. How are they going to fulfill 125 days of target? Then center and state, they said that maybe the states are going to be very reluctant to assign budgets to undertake, give unemployment allowances to the unemployed workers. Then the state notified agricultural pause. This could actually, be discriminatory in nature, in the sense that what the state governments might think as agricultural pause, maybe the people are maybe that particular period is not an agricultural pause when it comes to harvesting and sowing. Then to bring about digitization, he here said that already digital methods were being used, to tab the sending up of money, etc. But then that still continued with corruption in the present sphere under Manrega. And then budget capped and not demand driven. They said that they are not going to align budgets or allocate money to VBG Ramji in accordance with the number of people who are willing to work under VBG Ramji. They are going to have a fixed amount, and from that amount only they are going to align money to the unemployed rural workers in the country. So this can actually be, like the people who are unemployed are in far greater number who are wanting to work under VBG Ramji in comparison to the money that is assigned to them. So this can be on the flip side when it comes to, allowing concerted money allocations for the scheme and for the unemployed youth. All right. So this is basically what they've talked about, what the author has talked about in the article. So please do go through it. It's a wonderful take. Then coming to the next one. All right. This again, it was in news, so just flagged it that you can go through it once again, but it is just a recollection of everything that is happening. That the author basically tries to say that recent developments in terms of the T20 World Cup, where Bangladesh has been removed by ICC, by the International Cricket Council, and it has been replaced by Scotland. So the author simply says that Bangladesh should rethink its entire stance, that it should not back out from the T20 World Cup, citing security reasons. Although Bangladesh did give a reason, saying that the Bangladeshi cricketer that was bought by KKR was asked to go back to his country and his entire selection was cancelled because of everything that is undertaken towards that is being undertaken towards Hindus in Bangladesh. So citing same reasons, they said that even Bangladesh players might feel threatened in the country. So the ICC denied such allegations and removed Bangladesh and took up Scotland. Okay, so this is an article which talks about that. Then, okay, this is a wonderful article which you can go through it, written by Yogendra Yadav, where he's talked about and given a basic difference between Ganatantra and Ganrajya. Okay? So Ganatantra and Ganrajya, why? Because nationally we were celebrating the Ganatantra Divas. So Ganatantra Divas means, he has basically said that Ganatantra can be a little more narrow, simply means a republic where the head is elected. Ganrajya means where the people are actually involved in undertaking, actively involved in the development, etc. of the country. So he said that a small discrepancy between Ganatantra and Ganrajya republics in ancient India were called Gan or Sangh, which simply meant a group of people who are undertaking decisions and not one particular person who is undertaking decisions. So he's drawn a very wonderful, comparison to maybe the present too much centralized structure of the government as compared to a little decentralization in power. Then he talks about that Ganatantra refers to a negative and very narrow meaning of the republic. Political science textbook tell us that republic is a form of government where the head of the state is an elected head. Ganatantra is used in a broader sense. It is used not just negatively to refer to absence of monarchy, but also positively to refer to a mechanism of popular sovereignty, okay, where people are actually elected by the people. The leaders are elected by the people. Again, here is mentioned Ganraj takes us deeper and positive meanings embedded in the idea of the republic. The republic is a normative political order and maximum powers lies through a community of equals. All right. So he says that it should be Ganraj and not Gantantra for the name of it, for the sake of it. Okay. So go through it. A good article. Then cybercrime and global governance crisis. This article talks about that the United Nations last year undertook signing of convention against cybercrime, which was supposed to bring a unified structure to tackle cyber threats and cyber crimes, but it did not culminate. It hasn't culminated as of now. And we had, because countries like US, Japan, Canada, etc., they did not sign it. And there were also countries like Russia and China who had actually pressed for certain such guidelines. And they've actually talked about, to have a better secure cyberspace where they can have, similar rules, laws, etc., so that no country can, in terms of cyberspace also can interfere in the territorial sovereignty of other countries as well. All right. So cyber crime simply implies any criminal activity which is undertaken by means of a computer. All right. And this term cybercrime was for the first time given by W. Gibson around 1980s, 1990s. So keep that one thing in mind. And they've also drawn attention towards India's entire stance, where when you talk about cybercrime, it basically says that you can't intervene, you have to recognize each and everybody's right to privacy, etc. So they've said that India may be a little against it, where India wants, for the sake of maintaining law and order, a little insight into maybe the places from where the cyber crime actually originates. This implies that they want access to maybe certain people's, their IP addresses, etc. Okay, so just go through it once. Okay, then this article says that Cuba is now under crisis since the entire US takeover over Venezuela. And this article simply says that Cuban economy was too much dependent on Venezuela oil imports, and oil formed the basic energy resource for Cuba. And since Venezuela has been taken over by USA, the total amount of Venezuelan oil import into Cuba has reduced, which is threatening its entire global chain existence. So this article simply tells you that because Venezuela's oil is collapsing and that entire political order is in upheavals, so it is plunging Cuba into a crisis. Okay, all right. Then ISA was also in news. Why? Because last month in December, the United States of America had basically, talked about exiting from 66 international organs. And one of those international organs was International Solar Alliance. So the International Solar Alliance is an international body which seeks to promote harnessing of solar energy to cater to the energy requirement of every country, and mostly in the it mostly was along the tropical regions. Now it is extended to beyond the tropics. It was an alliance that was brought into co-established between India and France. Together they established the International Solar Alliance, founded the International Solar Alliance in 2015, and International Solar Alliance was the first international organ which had its headquarters in India, in Gurugram. All right, so your homework again, please tell me who is presently heading, who's the president of the International Solar Alliance. All right, so like among these 66 organizations, one of the organizations was International Solar Alliance, which was also exited by USA. All right, so this article simply says that although US has exited from the International Solar Alliance, but USA's exit and withdrawal of all the funds that US had invested in the International Solar Alliance, which amounted to around 1%, they've mentioned it here, which amounted to around 1% of the total investment, has absolutely no negative impact on the International Solar Alliance and its entire workings, because India was mostly not dependent on the US investment, etc. Also, when it comes to import of raw materials like photovoltaic cells, etc., India undertook maximum imports from China. So US exit basically has no after or no bad effects in terms of its exit from the International Solar Alliance. All right. Then quickly coming to news in brief. All right, this piece of news is not important, but I've just flagged it that you need to remember. The 26th of January is not only the Republic Day for India, it is also the National Day for Australia. Australia commemorates the day Britain established the state of New South Wales as a penal colony. All right, so Australia observes 26th of January as National as a national day. All right, now this is just certain pictures that I've put in here of the various tableaus that were showcased in the Republic Day parade yesterday. So this was from Puducherry, this was from Maharashtra, Kerala, Himachal Pradesh, okay, Manipur. Here you see they've actually showcased their basic terracotta works which they are famous for. The Auroville vision, whatever it was, that is showcased here. Now here they've showcased Ganpati festival in Maharashtra, uh, Kerala, houseboat that it is known for and its rich spice, Himachal Pradesh. Then coming to the next one, Manipur, it's Bhut Jalokia, chili. Madhya Pradesh has been showcased here. Odisha, Nagaland, Hornbill Festival. Okay, the Rajasthan, Punjab, the Golden Temple. So this was everything for the newspaper on the 27th of January, and I'll see you tomorrow with the next. Okay, thank you.